Good evening, everybody. I sort of hit the target window, but it's pushing the edge of it. So sorry for those of you who were sitting around waiting. I'm going to jump into the game reasonably quickly, but I'm going to ask a question twice. Once off the top, and this is more so for people who might be watching on YouTube and like watching that. And then I'll also ask during the stream so that I can maybe get a few more people during the live broadcast. So I have no intention of moving away from Stellaris anytime soon, but I do very frequently kind of take a long view in terms of, oh, sorry, it looks like my Paradox launcher has an update, so I just need to reset. But I try and take the long view on the games that I play, and one thing I'm trying to do is ask these questions when people who I think are going to like a certain type of game may be around. So, I don't just play Paradox strategy games. I play a number of strategy games, and not all of them wind up on stream. So, for instance, it's been a very long time since I played Civilization, although it is by far my favorite game. And so with that in mind, I've been thinking about some games that I'm interested in trying out and may try on a broadcast. Now, that could be live on stream, or that could be as part of a video series. And two games that I've been thinking about lately have been Shadow Empires, which is published by Slytherin, and Distant Worlds Universe. Now, Distant Worlds Universe is sort of the collected version of the game Distant Worlds, and of course Distant Worlds has just recently got a sequel, Distant Worlds 2. I have not played either of these. I own both of them. But I'm kind of curious if there is an appetite for seeing me do those particular games, and one of the reasons I'm picking those ones in particular is because of the fact that these seem to be games where really you want to read the manual before playing. And there's a handful of games that are like that, but by and large, most games now have very good UIs and don't require a manual. Stellaris is an example of this, actually. I think the tutorial is quite good, and I believe they are taking the time to update the tutorial as the game changes. And then, of course, there's the wiki. I don't think there's much in the way of manuals for Paradox games anymore, but clearly a community-driven wiki is available. So those are two that I'm thinking of. If that's something that's of interest to you, if you're watching on YouTube, you can just leave a comment or reach out to me however you feel comfortable. Generally, I see most stuff that arrives to me, but the more unconventional the means, more likely it'll get caught by some kind of a spam filter. I do occasionally check those out, but I mean, there's a reason spam filters exist, right? I don't want to spend all my time looking at the junk. And if there's another game that you'd be interested in, you can feel free to mention that as well. I do own Command Modern Operations. I actually own the previous version, Command Modern CMNAO, Command Modern Air Naval Operations. I've not put a lot of time in it, and again, that's another example of a very complicated simulation, which may be more rewarding to the person playing it as opposed to the people watching. That I think is a little bit harder to do on stream, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. But again, if these are things that are interesting to you, let me know. It's something that I'm kicking around. Please don't take that as an indicator of future broadcasts. I have quite a bit to get through, and I don't want to imply something that I don't intend. But I do think there's some value in taking a look at what the general interest is. As far as preliminary remarks as well, I will just say off the top that I am playing a copy of the game that was given to me by Paradox for promotional purposes. I will also specifically say that I am playing the base game as well as all of the DLC, with the exception of the Necroids and the Aqua... the new DLC, the Aquatics DLC. All of the DLC that I've been playing are ones that have been given to me for promotional purposes by Paradox, with the exception of Plantoids and the humanoids species packs. Those are ones that I bought on my own. So as always, I'm very grateful that they gave those to me. It's been great. I've basically been with Stellaris since slightly before it first came out, and it's been neat. I think in particular because I like this style of game very much, and it really does seem to have been something that got people into these types of games. And, as a result, it's kind of exciting to be able to share these experiences with people in a way that I wasn't necessarily able to before. But it's also important to get those disclosures out of the way, because even though it's been a while, there is the perception that streaming is sort of an endorsement, and you want to make sure that if you are doing an endorsement that you want to disclose sort of the exchange of a thing of value, which in this case would be the key for the game. Now, what are we going to try and do in this run? I know I was a little bit chattier last time. I'm going to do my best to make some progress inside of this run, but we're in what I suspect may be a little bit of a fragile position. So there's some big opportunities for us, but there's also some pretty big risks. One of the spoilers, potentially, is the fact that the Lox Ungrak Va Royal States, my long-standing rival, for a very brief period had equivalent fleet strength to me. And if you take a look at what they are fielding right now, there is a group of 13, let's just say 14k rounding up, and then two 6k fleets. So effectively we could say that there are 12 to 14k fleets that can come after us. Now what do we have on the field? Well, we have one 15k fleet, and we're sort of on our way to building up a second one of these. But the fact of the matter is that we're really not quite where I want to be numbers-wise. And one of the things I would like to try and do is take some initiative against the Grey Tempest. So the Tempest Shoal is definitely a frightening, entity. In fact, it would be nice. I don't know if we have any in the area anymore. Oh no, here we go. So on paper, these things are quite fearsome, but what we have found is that our fleets do a fairly good job of taking them out. So in one sense, I should feel quite confident with my fleets, and we should be able to, make the most of the opportunity ahead of us. Obviously, the Grey Tempest is going to continue to throw bodies at us until we either defeat it or it wipes out the galaxy. But the drawback is let's say I have some, let's say I have a couple of bad rounds against the Grey Tempest. One of the possibilities that could emerge would be the Lox Ungrak Va Royal States feel emboldened, and all of a sudden I'm not just trying to defend myself, through the L cluster, but I'm actually trying to kind of protect myself on the borders here. And obviously I've sort of been neglecting the upgrades on my station. Now, another important factor to consider is just simply the alloy situation. I can buy a whole lot. I'm actually probably going to start doing monthly trade. Oh my goodness, this is really inexpensive. Let's put in an order for 2,500 right away. I know that cuts my energy in half, but in fact, I'm going to do a monthly trade for alloys. Let's take it up to 350. So 32 a month doesn't exactly set me on fire. Actually, you know what? I can probably do better by trading with neighbors. So let's take a second here. So yeah, the startup phase of the stream is going to take a little while I sort of manipulate my different worlds. But this is going to be setting in motion sort of the next few turns so far as my plans. So just to maybe give you an idea of where this is headed, I need to make sure that I can sort of defend my territory. So, for instance, the Tempest Shoal here is a little bit of a worry. But the plan is going to be to slowly build out towards the Zorican black hole. So this is where we first opened things and sort of unleashed the horror of the Grey Tempest on the galaxy. So I want to claim this. I want to claim the L Gate. That's going to require a pretty big battle, so I want to really make sure that I'm ready to go with this. And I want to set up a starbase complete with, shipyards and basically something that's in a position to take and hold the L cluster. And then from there, we're going to sort of do little excursions out. I would have a guess that this is where the signal's coming from. So we sort of want to fight a path towards our target. But again, there's a lot of power for the Grey Tempest. So the one thing I can't afford to do is get too bold and sort of see my fleet demolished at the hands of the Grey Tempest. So I want to work on it, but I don't want to I don't want to get so courageous that I sort of wipe out my fleet and suddenly the Loxungrak Va Royal States feel emboldened. On that note, actually, I'm going to take a second here to upgrade the fortress. Actually, let's put in some extra shooting power. I may want to consider some other upgrades for my stations, but I think the dealing with our neighbors is kind of enough effort. I will also review my ships in a little bit, but I have some other priorities. So I'd love to take the Sosta and Aurum systems, but I think I'm actually going to start. I'm going to start working on the the expansion, because you'll notice that my influence isn't really where it needs to be. I'm going to sort of be crawling towards this objective. In fact, there's a small argument that says maybe I should just try and do some sort of humiliation, war on the Loxungrak Va Royal States, so that I can sort of remove them as a threat. At the very least, I get the 10-year peace period. But of course, I want to be spending the time upgrading my own fleet, not necessarily weakening it in an unnecessary war. So I think probably the best thing for me to do is just bulk up this station. That will include, incidentally, the construction of proper defense units, proper defense platforms. Actually, there's 9 of them, so what would that cost me? Not even close. I have better uses for those alloys. But we'll work on that. Okay, so I just want a quick word here at Gleaming Shell. Okay, so the Tempest Shoal is basically going to take this system, so that's a bunch of money I just lost, I think, is the fair statement. I could try and protect my investment. This is, well, I just made it, though, so it's 4.8. The thing that's really going to hurt here is the consumer goods. Okay. So, what's happening on Nadal? We've got a couple of enslaved. So the new Bale will find work for sure. Could actually probably move the robot somewhere. I could throw these all onto Castor Prime for the clerk jobs. I'm going to need to think about that a little bit. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for one of the worlds to be colonized. Actually, I have 2 worlds being colonized, so I think I'm just going to stick with the existing, kind of the existing worker distribution, even if that does mean... Actually, you know what? That's kind of dumb. Yeah, we'll That doesn't make sense. Oh, right, of course. No, that doesn't make sense. So just because you can have jobs available, but because it's worker level jobs, that's why it was saying there was difficulty. Okay, so I had a robot which I wanted to move out. There we go. I may move around some of my, my various low skill workers again, but we can worry about that when the time comes. Okay. Next up, let's try and get some extra alloys through trade. So basically, as long as I'm spending less than 10... Hang on. There we go. As long as we're spending less than 10 an alloy, I'm in good shape. So we'll start by looking at the people who like me the most. So the Nar are my best bet economically. They sound angry. Okay. Okay, so they'd be willing to give up to 133. We probably won't be able to afford it. Yeah, so this is already past what I'm willing to spend. So let's say 300 off the bat. Okay, so we're spending 300 for 28. That doesn't look like 10 to me. I think at that rate I mean, it's close. I think it's something like 10 3/4. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I've got a calculator. There's no reason to guess. 10.714. Okay, yeah. So I mean, there's a possibility there, but essentially, I'm locking myself into the present prices. In fact, actually, at 10.71, I'm paying more than the current amount. So I feel like there's better offers we can do. So the Pryran tribe. So I guess the first question I have is, where are these guys? Cool. Actually, they don't seem to have any real defenders here. Anyways, we'll offer them a trade deal. So they're probably going to jealously guard their alloys because they need them. But they're also probably going to want energy credits. So again, the idea here is not so much the quantity that we're getting, as it is the price. So we should be willing to go up to about 100. Yeah, and again, they're going to want a little bit more than I'm willing to give. So at 117 for 11, that's 10.6. So close to the free market price, but not something I'm willing to take. I'm assuming that the calculation that a lot of the AI are making is sort of based on the presence of the threat, like the Grey Tempest. I don't even know why I'm trying to do the 200 number. That doesn't make any sense at all. So, I mean, this is the best I've got so far. So that's 9.67. That's a good deal for them. So, yeah, do I want to lock in half of my energy credits in order to get rather expensive alloys? I'm not sure I do. Let's stop pretending we can spend money we don't have. Now that is a tempting number. So 306 for 41, that might be something that compels me for the trade. That's 746 per unit. I think that's a perfectly respectable trade. In fact, let's see if we can knock that up to the 350 level. Okay, we got a little bit of weirdness going on here, so there we go, 358 for 48. So that works up to a unit price of about 745. So high, like it's higher than what I originally bought at, but that's locking that in for 30 years, and we still have about a little under 300, or yeah, actually over 300 to play with. So let's see how they feel about that. Okay. Next priority is to see what's going on with my harbors. Yeah, so they're definitely building a bunch of units. Now, one thing that does weird me out a little bit is just to see the numbers for the fleet. So are we really in a spot where... Yep, okay. So we want a destroyer and a corvette. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, this will probably mess with the numbers, so I shouldn't. I should let the queue finish first, but what I'm gonna do is maybe just shift some of the different fleets, some of the different units around, so that basically new ship, which I really need to change the name for. This is always at 110. This one's always at 110. Like basically this unit here, which is just on its way to being constructed, that's sort of the last one to get filled in. I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but although I can do a shopping list. So if my ideal fleet has got 24 corvettes, so we need 6, 12, 13, 23. Okay. How many are we building? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got some destroyers here. We're building 11. Corvettes obviously are not my highest priority right now, but... So what about battleships? So ideally a total of 6, is that right? Yeah. So let's get those built nice and early. Okay, I can only afford one. I'm actually going to put that right up to the top of the queue because we've got four bays. And I think I'm going to leave the rest of that. Now, I am probably going to want to wind up buying consumer goods. Actually, you know what? Let's just do that right now. So we'll buy 16. We're just going to keep ourselves above water. That will say maximum price of 4. All right. So I think that's a decent enough foundation for the start of the turn. Again, we want to very slowly make our way out to this black hole. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be building and upgrading my fleets, trying to keep the bad guys at bay. And then, of course, if I have any surplus as far as alloys, and that's kind of laughable, to be honest, I do want to put that towards upgrading my various ports or star bases, because we are well over our naval capacity. And that's like, so the maintenance cost is plus 20%. Keep in mind that part of the maintenance for ships is alloys. So in the end, I'm sort of hurting my ability to produce more ships by being over that limit. So for instance, if I were to look at 20% of this number, that's about, well, it's 20% of 87 is about 17. Now the thing to remember is that there's a base cost that's being augmented by 20, so the actual value that I'd get would be a little bit different. But like, clearly, if I were to look at 17 there, that's pushing me over 100 alloys every turn. just by getting myself back in compliance with my naval capacity. So that is a goal that I want, but of course, because we are currently facing an invader, we definitely want to make sure that we have the ships to meet it. And to, like, I don't just want to be able to survive the encounters, I want to win them handily so that it will not come back. So with all of that in mind, I think we are ready to advance the turn. And we'll see what comes after us.
Debris analyzed. War can be a lucrative affair.
All right, they didn't like that, so 358 for 48. Oops. Okay. Interesting. Oh, come on, guys. That's 2. This price keeps going up a little bit. Thank the maker. All right. Is that your final offer, Raxari? How about some extra minerals to sweeten the deal? Nope, we'll take it. It's still a good deal for me, just I didn't want... Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. Okay, let's sell... So I just want to actually double check something here. So in ye old days, you could boost growth with food, and I suspect that's not an option anymore. But it's nice to just double check what you have access to in terms of various various tasks. I wonder why. Oh, that's a per turn upkeep. I can live with that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sell this off. Kind of crashed the price, but... And we have... Ah, it's an Atraxi. I'm trying to get my citizenry, or my own species, in the most populous. Actually, no, I think it would be under. Actually, I think it's under my breakdown. So the racks are. Oh, the racks are 40. Okay, actually, that's more than I thought it would be. It's 41% of the population. Luxungrak Va are 7%. That would make sense because we've invaded them. Natraxi, we have a lot. I'm actually trying to even remember where we got the Natraxi from. No real surprises about the new Baal. We keep creating them. Yeah. I may need to mess around with some of the population controls just to try and make sure that we... Like, there's only a certain number of... There's like a certain number of species that can do the high skill jobs, so I may actually mess around with some of the rates just to make sure that my the composition is what I want it to be. But I mean, the other thing too is we could sort of liberalize the society a little bit and get rid of slavery, but I don't. That's a little too radical for my criminal gang.
The profit
Wow,
margins on
that's
this
a
tech.
big jump in the consumer goods. There is no simple solution to the problem of macro-scale reshaping of planetary crusts. Only bigger trowels and orbitally deployed drills. Okay, as always, we're going to go for the lower tech, or the cheaper tech, rather. So naval capacity is actually very tempting here. Regenerative hull tissue is nice, and in fact, I can earn it faster than some of the other. Oh, Paradise Dome is also really inexpensive. So difference of 23 months versus 18. I think for a difference of 5 months, I am actually going to go for the better naval capacity, just because it will have some knock-on effects for my alloys. So I'm trying not to be too.
Construction complete.
Try not to be too dogmatic about this, but okay. Definitely building the extra anchorages. Resource silo may be a good idea.
Construction complete. Priming planet for settlement.
I'm actually going to try Transit Hub because we definitely have got some unemployment problems, and to get rid of that
Resource
problem,
scan complete.
like to automate that away would actually be kind of helpful. Okay, Senate's now in session. I'm not on the council anymore, so this makes me sad. I don't think I've put a position on this, so yes, it does have a hit for habitability, but I do like the idea of extra production, so we will support it.
This tech had better generate some revenue.
Alright, I clearly wasn't paying attention to things. That was automated exploration. Quantum missiles. The latest version of space-to-space missile, the upgraded variant, has an immensely powerful warhead that draws its energy from a zero-point vacuum. Okay. As always, trying to go for the lower-cost tech. Droids... well, droids is tempting for a number of reasons. Chief among them, it is inexpensive. So, yeah, let's go for it.
Science ship lost.
Oof.
We're hemorrhaging funds.
Alright, I don't think I'm going to replace that. I'd like to, but it's a little... I just have other things that I want to get out of the way right now. And this is a Azazian. Okay, these actually have some nice properties. So they're good at minerals and food. Well, I don't really have much in terms of mineral worlds anymore, I don't think. Nerve stapled. I need to consider about the living standards for some of my slaves. So nervous staple and essential neural pathways leading to self-preservation and free will are severed, creating a docile and obedient client species. I wonder what... So that's definitely not something I made. Alright. So they are also proles compared to the Azazian, so there's not... Like, basically, if I move this thing, moving them around on the different worlds, let me get back to, it was Siluria. So yeah, they're all already working the mines, so... Oh, but I think I've got a mining station... Yes. Okay, so we'll switch out the Vengral. So this is Grunner that's got the Azazian. And then Vengral, I think, will move back to Subra 3. Do we have the... It's like a lot of specialist jobs that we need taken care of. I don't think that's what I want. So Caster is starting to fill up. Ooh, yeah. I'm running out of options. But we'll move the Vengral there for now.
Installing planetary production hub.
Okay, good. So we've got 2 planets that are coming online. That'll help me with my population problems. Now, shipyards. Okay, so we're still working on the battleship. So let's get another one of those on the way. Sorry, I need a second to think about my plans. Okay, well, actually, first of all, so for new ship, yeah, this is all fully loaded out, so I can consider upgrading. So cruiser and destroyer along with some corvettes. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. And then 6 corvettes. Actually. We'll finally rename the fleet. Okay. So clearly I messed up here. Let's wait, these numbers don't make sense. 4, 7, 13, 24. 4, 7, 13, 24. No, that works. Oh. I got it. Okay, these guys... So we've got battleships coming online. Let's give them another cruiser. Destroyer and 6 corvettes. Okay, so what I'm kind of hoping happens here, so I need 2 battleships. Those should, yeah, those are already on their way. So the hope here is that as these roll off the line, they're going to go into the right fleet. What will also happen is any other ships that I make are going to automatically sort of trickle down into this group, which I kind of intend. Like, this is the intended recipient, but of course, any of you who've sort of played this game a bit will know that sometimes they wind up in the fleet that you don't want. So, and obviously, I have messed up my. Okay, well, the Warform's definitely the better admiral. Okay, I'm also going to get some upgrades in, basically because I can. A surprise catch. Amongst our many clandestine tasks in the Nar consciousness is the low-key scouting of potential assets, any tool that we can use to further our efforts against the Gestalt entity. Our spy master reports having just made one such lucky catch. Excellent. Okay, so this is actually not a bad time for me to see what the state of things are. So this is actually kind of tempting. So wow, our max infiltration level. I guess it's because our encryption's relatively weak. But yeah, so now I've got a synapse drone, or synapse drone, to attach to the future acquire assets. Now, okay, it looks like we still have the sleeper cells. I should hope. Yes. So where's our other spy? Ah, good. They're about to establish the sleeper cell. So I should probably pick where I'm heading to next, but we'll give that a little time. Should also just keep an eye on my minerals, because that is going to
scan complete.
That's going to be a bit of a worry in the near future.
Wow, we really hit this tech out of the ballpark.
Generating a strong energy shield within a planetary atmosphere is a greater challenge than in the vacuum of space, but it offers a potent defense against orbital bombardment. All right. This is one of my better researchers, so I can sometimes afford to try and leapfrog some of the techs, but I think advanced research complexes, I'm not really going to build them, but this is something that I would like. And it is reasonably inexpensive. Okay, Kefroth is now running into population problems. I think we're all full up. Trade deal duration expired. The element concern for 35. Oh, interesting. So we already had a deal with them. I may want to. And the Tecarus link. Okay. I think I'm going to wait a month just to get an idea about what kind of cash I'm looking at. Governor has died. All right. We don't have any new ones, so actually let's just see what sector they're running. So Kirox's private stash. So ideally somebody who's good at research, if we can get it. Ship build speed's actually pretty tempting too, especially because of the reduction in costs. So congratulations to the new governor. And okay, yeah, we are drowning in cash, so let's see if we can get some good deals again. These guys used to be inferior, I think. Okay, well. Go. Yeah, no, wrong one. Energy credits. Okay, so. Tempting. I might want to give him a little bit of wriggle room just based on what happened last time. So we're still locking that in about roughly 8 per unit. So Let's see if we can pull that off. Also, ruined world. Once we found an entrance to the data center and forced passage through the wreckage, it was a surprisingly easy task to reactivate an interface with the computer systems. Self-repeating circuits and learning algorithms quickly came online to restore limited functionality and communicate with our own computers. The cause for this burst of activity quickly became clear. Zandaban Prime was once the capital of a machine empire known as the Omnicodex. Named for their driving purpose, the Omni were a hybrid of robots and cyborgs who attempted to assimilate samples of all biological life in the galaxy, in order to prevent their extinction in the face of unknown galactic calamity. From the records which survive, we gather that this course of action was not popular amongst the other galactic powers of their era. The Omni were eventually defeated in a joint campaign conducted by several of these empires. Before their downfall, the Omni managed to sample a great deal of races, and much work was put into developing a device capable of recreating them if the need should ever arise. This device, the Omnicodex proper, is apparently stored somewhere nearby. I do really like the little story. I mean, this is, I talk about this every once in a while, but I sometimes feel that the story packs don't get enough credit. Like, sometimes the reaction from people is like, it's just new events. And it's like, well, yes, but given the fact that a very large part of Stellaris is exploring this galaxy and seeing what there is and having that experience, like, having new stories and having these sort of event chains is actually really exciting sometimes. So every once in a while I'll see new things. I don't think I've encountered this one, for instance. Okay. Sorry, I just had a quick message to respond to. Looks like they like the trade deal. I'm always a little weirded out by the jumps. It might be because the cost is too low, but then it would inform me if it was. Anything for our most valued customers. Never forget who brings you the best deals. Raxare, the Elemented concern. So I do have a plan for sort of turning these guys into a subsidiary, but it is worth remembering that they do have protection, so they are protected by the Tecarus link. So I either need to be sure enough that I'm able to fight them, or I need to do something to drive a wedge between the two of them. But again, our first goal is the L cluster. So you know what I'm going to do? We do still have some extra cash, so let's boost our... Nope. We'll do it by 20. Alright, negotiations are... the negotiations for appointing a new oligarch are underway. So, the candidates are... Farglek, who has a fleet expansion agenda. Actually, that is a tempting one. We've got Farglek as well, the lesser, the younger, who is pursuing a skill development agenda, so a higher leader experience gain. That is also true for Samux. And finally, okay, so it's basically a 50-50 chance between fleet expansion and skill development. Both are desirable. I think fleet expansion's slightly better for me, but I will not alter the outcome. And we have elected Farglek, previously the governor on Nadal, to become the next ruler. So skill development, I can't complain about it. I can't complain about the result not turning out in my favor.
Prospect analyzed.
Okay, we're doing all right for alloys now. We're currently doing a bunch of upgrades, but I do want to start thinking about these ships. Actually, the first thing I should do, I should build more battleships. We need 4. I'm a little worried about Gleaming Shell and its lack of crime.
Prospect analyzed.
But we're definitely not in a position... I just simply can't waste the influence on...
We really push the envelope on these ships.
I really can't afford to waste influence on expanding in this territory right now, so... Curator Research Aid. The agreement that we signed giving you access to our databanks has run its course. Would you like to extend it for another 10 standard years, or do your researchers no longer require the information that we offer? I always extend the deal. We should be getting the same from the Curator... or the whatchamacallits. Where do these things keep coming from?
Colony established. High five.
Okay, I actually want to do something a little different here, so we can afford to sort of get rid of some soldiers and such. So, our new world is the habitat. Looks like this was a science-focused one. So, want 2 and 3 there. Interesting. Isn't there a gene clinic? Yeah, there we go. So Holotheater will give me growth. I think I'm actually going to put a stronghold here for now. Okay, there's a couple things that I want to do, but I think I need to wait till these buildings are built. So some of the rolls on actually there's a couple things I can do off the bat. So Faradex. Yeah, okay. So let's take one of these Raxari soldiers, put it onto Kefroth. Really, you can't be a soldier, huh? So I don't mind having sort of slave clerks here, although productivity-wise, so these guys are generating 2, 6, 2, 2, and 5. So we do generate a little bit less trade when we have slave clerks. But this is going to be a nice source of researchers. In fact, maybe what I should do... So maybe let's start by looking at worlds with scientists. I think I'm going to leave it be, actually. But yeah, what I'm going to start doing is maybe emptying out the clerks on the habitats, and we can move. I don't know. We can move a few people around. Okay, looks like one of the fleets have been upgraded. Well, it says it has, but it looks like we still have more to do. We're getting close to a number that lets me build another battleship. 981.
Boom. We built something.
So I'm just going to do a quick test of something here. Okay, I thought we were actually expanding out here already, so let's get that down. My admiral's died now. I should have a spare. Yeah. Okay, what's your story? First of all, let's heal him up. Oh, I've got room for that battleship now.
Ships upgraded.
Okay, good news. Alright, so there's 2 battleships. I'm gonna boot them out here again. I'm just gonna try and make sure that I've got maximum power fleets first, and then the Kundul is gonna be the last that gets added to. So through hard work and experience, Boss Farglek has developed new skills. So as always, in this case, we'll just detach all the battleships. We'll combine those. All right. So, as usual, we need to do our upgrades, but that should be the last of it. Okay, so we're building 1 battleship now. I want to build 3 more as soon as possible. We should get a boost of alloys because I think we're actually getting some back for these upgrades.
Built something.
Okay,
Construction complete.
Minerals should start looking a little bit better soon as well. I'm gonna get this guy to work on the expansion, and if I can, I want to sort of push the I want to push the borders out as quickly as I can. Okay, and we'll get this one on automated exploration. Getting a little worried about
cutting edge.
through hard work and experience. Scientist Froxelin has developed new skills. Okay, so this is an important milestone for me here to see kind of what I'm packing as far as ship power is concerned. So we're not quite at the point where we can take on the entire fleet with one of our primary fleets, but we're looking good, right? 17, 18K. You know, it's a pretty fearsome number. I think, yeah, they are still outdoing me in the NAR consciousness, although it looks like our production has started to sort of kick up a bit, so feeling a bit better on that. Okay, I need 2 more.
Another bleeding edge technology discovered.
All right, naval capacity is up. That should translate into more alloys per turn. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I should maybe just let you know I have got I got a welcome to the chat room message from Twitch. Hey, Night Valiant, how you doing? Yeah, so I actually just saw a welcome to the chat message on Twitch. Usually what that means is that I've had a lack of, or I haven't been able to see chat for, usually what that means is that I haven't been able to see chat messages. So if you said something in chat and I didn't reply, chances are it's because I didn't see it. So I apologize if that's the case. I know it's a smaller audience tonight, so I don't, in that case, it's usually just an indicator that there aren't as many people watching, which is completely fine. But with that in mind, I know, like the big thing for me is that I actually don't mind talking to myself. Hey, Conan, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, so this is the thing, right? Like, one of the most tedious things in the world is to watch a broadcaster complain about people not talking or complaining about people not watching, right? Like that is just, that's wasting everyone's time. Why would you lecture the people who are watching about not watching, right? The people who you're mad at are not present to be yelled at. So I don't like making too big of a deal about it. But I do, because now I have some sort of external evidence from Twitch that I have in fact been disconnected from chat, even if it was just for like a second. I figured I should probably come clean about it and mention it. So, hello, C. McLaugh. Hello, Conans. I apologize, everyone, if I've been ignoring you. Sorry, did I say hi to Nate Valiant as well? I'm a fool. It's great to see you all. I'm sorry for putting the brakes on the fun. But oh, Chocolate Limit as well. Okay, I need to. God, I gotta figure out a better way of handling that then, because it seems like there's quite a number of you. So if you said anything that you want me to see or that I haven't replied to, just write it again in chat. I apologize, but I'm gonna assume that you all know what happened and we can move on. We're not quite at the point where I'm storming the L cluster yet, but things are looking good as far as numbers go. All right, a fleet does not run on zeal alone. To ensure steady access to critical supplies, we should organize our logistics core to dedicated support vessels. All right, gene tailoring looks like one of the cheaper and better options. Actually, at this point, probably regenerative hull tissue, just because we've got such a head start on it. It's effectively a 10K, a 10K upgrade. Clearly, the Civic slot would be nice, but again, I'm trying to close the gap technology-wise with my neighbors, so that I can use it as an excuse to invade. Droids. Upgraded robotic workers. These units have an expanded movement range equal to that of most organics. Their neural processors have also been greatly improved. Now, I can't remember if you can just do a manual upgrade of your existing robots up to droids. I'll have to look into that. Now, advanced afterburners are actually kind of tempting, as is Durasteel armor. Improved Strikecraft looks like it's the least expensive though, so we're going to work on those. Let me just take a quick look at my robots and see. Maybe what I can do here is look at... Yeah, so it's making a robot. I think I'll just leave it be. Yeah, that's what I think too. But I couldn't like put my finger on the button that says yes. This is what tells me that for sure. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Spymaster Daklinex reports that our team of operatives near the Nar Consciousness has missed a number of checkpoints. Given the nature of this operation, we had already anticipated them being unable to maintain frequent contact. However, our Spymaster is regrettably confident that by now the team has been lost. Operation Require Asset may be rescued if we can successfully cover our tracks, pitting our code breaking against Naran encryption. Ah, that's scary, actually. Medium to low chance our actions will go unnoticed. I think it's better to just disavow, because that's spending influence on something that's probably not going to work. So we're going to acquire a new asset. We will put the Synapse drone. Can I put more than one? No. And we'll launch. Olaf, great to see you. How you doing? I'm actually really happy to see so many of you. Oops, sorry, battery problems. Where was I? I was about to build a battleship, I think. So I've got 2 in the queue. I don't have enough. Oh, right. Okay, 9:33. So we just need one more turn.
This tech had better
so I'm not gonna push this to the top of the list because I'm still getting some upgrades done. If I put a third one in, I'm basically not going to be able to upgrade until all of the battleships are built. They still take a while to work. So All right, we've got our advanced research complexes. To expand our knowledge base, we must consider all levels of existence. A new realm of science awaits us. And we will go for Ion Disruptor. I'd like to do the advanced shields, but let's start with the Ion Disruptor. Okay, Caster, what's going on with you? So this is one of these cases where... these robots are pretty good. So yeah, this is going to be one of these cases where I'm going to resettle clerks. Where is the private stash? Oh, I'm on it. Oh, do I not have any more? There we go. Now there's a couple other things that I want to do here. So under growing, I want to make sure that it's Raxars that are... I feel like we can do better than the new Bale, so I've got a bit of I'm just trying to breed the more useful species. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to mess around with those later. Again, this is one of these cases where I want to try and kind of have a light touch, because as much as I like micromanaging, I tend to find that I do actually need to maintain this stuff. And I'm sure you've all noticed I'm kind of forgetful, so there can be consequences. Those are encouraging numbers.
Prospect analyzed.
So I should just double check. So we've got 2 battleships currently under production. We should have 1 more in the queue. Yeah.
Boom. We built something.
So let me just take a look at this reserve. Okay, so yes, I do need to build another battleship still. But traditions, we need to start with our domination. So we've got the base improvement, which is the reduction in habitat alloy upkeep. So we've got there's 2 layers that I like to think of for these choices, which is number 1, what are like my immediate benefits from the different trees? And then second of all, does choosing one tree over another give me better benefits? So for instance, it can be attractive. So even with something like Judgment Core, you know, I may not necessarily like the extra unity from Enforcers. Obviously, unity is quite a bit more powerful now. But there could be something in workplace motivators. In this case, resource output of workers and slaves boosted by another 5%, particularly because of my mineral situation. That's actually not a bad little boost. Although I guess if it's workers, I don't have that many mineral producing planets, so I should be a little careful before I do a victory lap on that. Now, alternatively, we've got colonial viceroys, which will improve my governors, and I will... Oh, actually, the influence on its own is pretty attractive. Imperious architecture will provide additional housing. So one of the things that's nice about that is I may be able to roll back a little bit on some of the housing districts, although I usually tend to do those for the extra slots on a planet. And then if I get those, we can move to Privy Council, which will give me a better leader cap, as well as a better edicts fund. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is quite attractive. It's genuinely a tough call. But I think because I want to realize the benefits of the monthly influence, so this is basically going to get me about 6 new influence a year. That doesn't seem like a lot on paper, but it can add up. So I think I will start with Colonial Viceroys, then I'll probably do Judgment Corps, Workplace Motivators, and then we will, close off with Imperious Architecture and Privy Council. So, Colonial Viceroys. Our control over the colonies is dependent upon us finding capable and loyal individuals that can be trusted to enforce the will of the government. Idle construction ships make me sad. I may need to refill my beverage in a little bit. Nobody's claimed terminal egress yet, which is good. Operative defects. Our spymaster in the Nar consciousness, Declan X, reports a drastic failure in his process for screening operatives. Word from the Naran capital is that a warehouse proprietor has chosen to defect. Despite the fact that we were supposed to be able to screen out such disloyalty, the warehouse proprietor has been turned, either by an act of counter-espionage or some innate sympathy towards the Nar consciousness, which we were unable to detect before. So you can say, get your house in order, or disavow. So 50% chance the Nar consciousness will have a spy network on us. That if they have a spy network on us, they'll be warned of a plot against them. They may identify us if their code breaking is superior to our encryption, which it is. Let's just go.
Ships upgraded.
Go for it. All right. So this is the second of our fleets that's in sort of top condition. So that's 18.1, I believe, because of the better admiral. Yeah, really makes a difference. And the last archaeological site. The Omni Codex has been unearthed. The unique device contains the genetic sequence of every race that the Omni were able to sample and can recreate them using only basic elements as raw materials. Unfortunately, it seems the Omni did not have time to perfect it before meeting their annihilation, so there is no means of selecting which of the many sampled races would be created in any given activation of this device. Excellent. So let's see. Omnicodex. So for 3,000 Unity, spawn pops on of an extinct species on one of your planets. I'm not quite sure I need a random species, so I think I might I'll resist the urge to activate that.
Colony established. High five.
Okay, what's going on here? Let's get you back to... I don't think we have any more archaeology. Yep, so we'll just get them to do their investigations. Okay, so the frontier sector at this point should probably get a capital. I think Zygar is probably the... probably the right call here. We definitely should have got rid of this guy. I'll maybe just double check what's going on in Nadal, but... Oh, okay. So we'll recruit Dorbaks. Now, let's start by taking a look at Nadal. Okay, yeah, so we do actually have crime problems. So this guy is getting the sack. So the catch is I don't really have much in terms of administrators here, but I don't want to get rid of my... my fleet focused governor. So given that this is the breadbasket, a boost to food production is not a bad idea. Okay, got a colony. Let's think about how I want to expand it. So for starters, let's do the gene clinic, and I think I'm actually also going to put down the holo theater again because that winds up giving me growth as well, just based on my traits. Oh, can I not do? No, there's the holo theater. We've got a deep sinkhole, so let's get rid of that. That's really just going to give me an extra district, so it's not that important. Now, I guess the big question here is, why did I build on this world? Oh, right, okay, so there's a couple things I need to do. Number one, I need to activate the relic. I may not actually have enough unity for it, but... yeah. Okay, so they're going to be miserable on this world for a little bit. Fair enough. We've got 17 slots. I'm definitely feeling like I actually think taking advantage of the minerals is the right call here, so we'll start with 3 there and move on. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to think this through a little bit, but we'll start with that foundation. I'm obviously gonna have a lot of migration amongst all of my different worlds, but we're just gonna keep this. We're just gonna kind of keep this running. Our deep cover operatives have stepped up their surveillance on potential targets. Okay, acknowledged. And through hard work and experience, Governor Samux has developed new skills. So one thing I want to be kind of careful of moving forward, now that this star base is getting built, like, I want to be kind of careful in terms of what I, like, basically...
Boom. We built something.
The Great Tempest just kind of needs to show up out of this black hole, and I wind up losing all of these. Again. So I'm gonna hold off before claiming the black hole here, just because I do actually want to get my fleets in place. And of course, to do so, I at least need this upgrade done. I think I'll take the pack of 3. We'll wait a little bit for these guys, but speaking of though. So 2 battleships, and we're not, okay, let's put that one up at the top. Okay, so we've at least got the battleships covered. So the plan is going to be build out to the Zakarian black hole. One thing I need to, oh, yeah. So I think we actually need to scramble the... Even if it means canceling the upgrade, we need to take these guys on immediately. We're almost certainly going to lose this.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
Okay, now I really want to know where they went. So I'm going to get these guys to go back on their upgrade. I'm going to get these two at the edge. So yeah, like I said, this is probably one of the more dangerous moments, just because I don't quite have my fleet in place. Yep, that doesn't surprise me, Night Valian. Sorry it's happening, but thank you for stopping by. I promise not to mock your opinions on games today. At least not until we've settled that you're here and can defend yourself. Okay, so I'm going to do the new Bell life seeding. This is just to turn this into a Gaia world. Our environmental specialists are pleased to report that the terraforming process on Zygar Prime has completed. The planet has been successfully transformed into a Gaia world owing to our deployment of laboratory-created plant hybrids containing carefully selected segments of Bale genetic code. Once again, as a result of the process, itself not fully understood by our geneticists, a number of new Bale populations have appeared planet-side, emerging when terraforming neared completion. Is this the round where you unleash the space-eating fungi? Nope, this is the criminal turtles. Suppose we have to deal with them. Excellent, more slaves, or incredible. More slaves. We need to give these people jobs. Okay. Yeah, apparently the Grey Tempest saw this construction ship and got really scared. I'm actually slightly tempted to... Oh, Zygar Prime's got... Oh, right. That's not news. A short list of targets has been drawn up. Those operatives who are no longer tasked with surveillance will provide cover for the others. So it's going about as well as I could hope. Okay, so I think we'll do 3 cruisers next. Oh.
Boom! We built something.
Okay, somebody bought up all the crystals. That's fine. I can live with the as you can see, my energy credits are kind of starting to fall a little bit, so I can live with having a bit of a deficit for a while. As the operation nears its conclusion, Spymaster Daklanex has moved to secure our new asset within the Nar consciousness. Our remaining operatives are poised to facilitate any cover he may need. Spymaster Daklanex reports that from the Nar consciousness, a successful execution so far. Our spy network has secured access to a modified Naran drone, the benefits of which will be obvious whenever we might want to infiltrate or otherwise manipulate the Nar consciousness entity. Alright, so basically, these guys are an ally, right? So I don't, it's a little weird where I'm at because they have a very high encryption and... if you notice here, the reason why I've been doing all of these acquire asset runs are to just try and get my infiltration level as high as I can get it. So I'm going to continue to work on this spy network. The real action is kind of happening in the rival areas, but again, I want a good view on what's going on in the Nar consciousness so that I can open subsidiaries, basically. So we will do another acquire asset. We'll bring our new... So we can attempt to coerce operatives and other assets who would be of use to our intelligence operations, recruiting them for a price.
Imagine the profit margins on this tech.
Okay, we've got a regenerative hull tissue that's probably upgrades across the board. A genetically altered version of silicon-based bacteria could potentially be manipulated to regenerate non-organic materials. And naval capacity is tempting. But we'll do Vault of Acquisitions again because it's the lowest cost. And improved Strikecraft, the next generation of Strikecraft featuring improved avionics, better handling characteristics, and more powerful armaments. So, civilian replica complexes. Destroyer hulls are more attractive than those. Swarmer missiles are easily the least expensive out of all of it, though. And at some point I do want the advanced habitat, but again, there's just so many other things that we can take advantage of right now. And as always, because we've had some tech... actually, one thing I should be doing, let's just take a quick look at the galactic community. So I'm at 5-4, so we've got a 7-1, a 6-6. Wow, these guys jumped up as well. So 1, 2... 3. Yeah, I need to... The Enlightened Kingdom of Khan Aramis is probably going to be on my target. I think a lot of this score comes from their confederation. Change council size 2? Yeah, we're opposing that. It's weird. The Nar consciousness was. I kind of thought they were. I kind of thought I'd like written them off, but they're. They've gotten really powerful really quick. Okay, one thing I wanted to check though was so I'm sitting on 768 and 852, so they've still got a stronger economy, and we're looking at about a 70-point gap on tech. So I still have some work ahead of me as far as closing that tech gap.
Prospect analyzed.
Okay.
Construction complete.
This will bring me up to the cruisers that I want. So next up, we're going to build 7 destroyers. Actually, I can see if I can
Technology acquired.
build those now. Okay. Ion disruptor. These upgraded disruptors fire bolts of more destructive ion particles at targets. Sapient combat AI is very tempting, but let's start with advanced shields. It's the lowest cost. Still waiting on the upgrade. So basically what's going to happen, I have enough to be able to build... Oh, sorry. Short on alloys. I have enough to be able to build into the Zorican black hole. In fact, one thing that I want to keep an eye on, so with this construction ship, it costs 75 influence. So what I really want to wait for is 150. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to build in the Zorican black hole, and we're immediately going to move into terminal egress. So we're not going to build any defenses. We're not going to build any defenses in the Zakarian black hole. What we're going to go is we're going to go straight for terminal egress. We're going to set up a base, and that base is going to have a bunch of shipyards, and it's going to have a bunch of defensive facilities. So the plan is, the whole reason why I've been building the way that I've been building, and the reason why I've been okay going over the fleet cap, is that my entire navy is going to be going through the L gate. We're going to sort of establish enough of a defense to allow the construction ship to build the base. And what I need to make sure is that these guys can hold out long enough to be able to build a port that will support them. And then effectively all of my alloys are going to go into continuing to bulk up that base and sort of use it as the area from which I'm going to start attacking the Gray Tempest. So, move from terminal egress to unknown 1 to unknown 2. Again, I'm thinking this is probably where the central processor or whatever it is located, but no assurances. Let's say we'll find that out when we get there.
Ships upgraded.
Okay. I think the wise move is to just move my whole fleet. So again, like I can upgrade these things forever. We've done all right against the Gray Tempest before, so I'm going to hope/assume that will still be true. We've got 1 destroyer that I'm building. I forgot how many I need for the fleet though. So we're now 7 of 13. Excuse me. So I need 6 more. 5 more. Our deep cover operatives have stepped up their surveillance on potential targets. Acknowledged. Now, what's going on in... I guess I'm build... Oh, that's right. I forgot. We've got everything that we need in this area. We've actually had it for a while, and then for some reason, it all fell down. So I'm going to acquire another asset. All right, I'm not quite sure what happened in here, but makes me sad. But yeah, like I said, I can upgrade these ships forever. At this point, I want to get into a position where we're able to make our move on the L cluster. We're also taking a bit of a hit because I have to maintain these ships away from the base. Okay, so this was partly to bulk up against a potential invasion from the Loxon-Grekva Royal States. I don't know if I really want to dedicate so many I don't want to dedicate all my alloys towards building up the defensive platforms and such, so we're going to put that on hold for now, but it does put me at a risk. The one bit of good news is that I am in a defensive pact with the most powerful empire in the game right now, so if these guys do declare war on me, they are basically signing their own death warrant. Oh yes, C. McLash, we don't do half measures here in among the Natraxian rum runners. I do still kind of try to play in character on things. I'm not going to do something like objectively stupid in character, but I am going to roll the dice where I can. Esteemed boss Farglek, a decade ago the Natraxian Run Runners pledged to support the Artisan Troop, and so you have. The time of your patronage is coming to an end, but we would be remiss not to ask, would you care to renew your subscription to the finest arts and crafts in the galaxy? It's a deal. So we're inching closer to our the influence that we need. Let's get those destroyers built. So I built. I'm actually going to run out of. I think I'm going to run out of alloys before. So we've got 8. So we'll have 10. I still need to build 3 more. Short list of targets has been drawn up. Those operatives who are no longer tasked with surveillance will provide cover for the others. Okay. Once the ships are in position, we're going to make our move onto the black hole.
Resource scan complete.
Normally, I'd want to wait for this fleet to finish, but again, we'll have every excuse in the world to not do things, and at this point, we need to commit. And as you can see, the decision to reinforce Jardlafon was a good one, because if we hadn't, we'll lose this, and we would have to put our influence back. So I want to draw this out as long as possible. I don't want to move past the starbase. If we lose the starbase, then we lose the influence. But I would like to try and have my 3rd fleet in position to fight the Grey Tempest. These smaller missiles are launched in volleys and have been specifically designed to overwhelm enemy point defense systems. I guess we do mining station output. Miravandia Imperial Sons have completed construction of their gateway in the Rayag system. Alright, that's unlucky for me. Alright, what's the deal here? That's the second time the Grey Tempest has sort of like threatened and then run away. Our spotters have begun ingratiating themselves with targets we've marked as potentially useful.
Prospect analyzed.
I'm assuming this is the crystal again? Yeah. As the operation nears its conclusion, Spymaster Daklanex has moved to secure our new asset within the Nar consciousness. Our remaining operatives are poised to facilitate any cover he may need. Okay, let's just wait till the ships get in position. Spymaster Daklinex reports from the Nar consciousness. A successful execution so far. Our spy network has secured access to a modified Naran drone, the benefits of which will be obvious whenever we might wish to infiltrate or otherwise manipulate the Nar consciousness entity.
Prospect analyzed.
Okay, there's a few things I want to do here, so let's start by... I'm going to start by taking a look at all of the different... okay, so move the soldier... Oop. What I'm trying to do here is get as many high-quality researchers and such on my tech world as soon as possible. So, like, the Neutraxi as a clerk, that's exactly how I want them. Raxari clerks? No. Even enforcers are... I think I've overdone this a little bit, but that's fine because I'll have other things that I can transport people into. Okay, so now what we're going to do on Zygar Prime. Alright, now I kind of messed this up a little bit, but that's fine because we can go back to Zygar. I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. The distribution's a little weird on some of these, so like now I've got free jobs available on some of these worlds. But I'm kind of okay with that. I will allow this for now. These guys would actually be pretty good for my labs. This is why I don't like micromanaging this stuff, because I just forget. Okay, so we'll reevaluate where we're at. Holy crap, what's going on in Safe Harbor? We have so much crime. Why am I losing money? Guess its trade collapsed. All right, fair enough. I'll accept the deficit. Okay, back to the invasion. Okay, wait till the ship's in position.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
What on earth is happening here? Oh, it's because I messed with all of the different jobs, so I probably just lost a bunch of technicians. Okay, I'm going to see how long I can run this deficit. But this is going to cause me some really big problems pretty soon.
Wow, we really hit this tech out of the ballpark.
An updated shield generator that produces an even stronger energy field. Only sustained enemy fire can penetrate this barrier. Okay. Advanced reactor booster it is. I guess... So 932 compared to mine. 877. So we've closed that gap to about 50. Gonna do something that seems a bit reckless. But I can sort of afford to... I can afford to lose a construction ship, is basically what this story is going to be. I don't like that I'm doing this, but I actually get happiness. I get a happiness bonus if I'm not in a deficit. So probably the right call here is just to wait out the... okay, actually... So I don't want to lose the construction ship. I'm just saying that I can afford to. So...
Our construction ship is under attack.
Okay, so there's two fleets getting ready to hurt me. This is going to be really scary to do, but fortune favors the bold.
Hostile fleet's getting what's coming to them. Technology discovered. Rad.
Oh my god, there's so many of them. This is a terrible idea. We just got decimated. The doorway, what can only be described as a dimensional portal, has been discovered in a remote location on Zygar Prime. Weather prediction algorithms noticed a strange air current, which was eventually determined to be caused by a slight leakage of atmosphere into the portal. The rate of loss is far too small for it to make any difference to life on Zygar Prime, but the very existence of this portal raises some disturbing questions, such as, where does it lead to, and could something come through the portal on the other side?
Log updated.
Hold the line!
Prospect analyzed.
Got him! Alright. So we need to adjust the plan a little bit. Actually, I don't need a construction ship there. This is going to take a day. I'm also going to need to... Yeah, so here's the trick. I guess we don't need the... The trick on this is that they have very few ships, like they have very small fleets. So in this case, as long as oh no, we don't have regenerative hulls because I didn't build it on the ships. So like basically, sorry, I gotta find my pen because I'm gonna need to write out all of the replacements that I need to build. So yeah, the trick on this is that the Grey Tempest has five ships. So even though they've got an absolute bruiser, you can swarm them, which is exactly what we did. Okay, so destroyer. Okay, Corvette. I'm just writing this all down. Okay. The destroyers are going to bankrupt me. On the plus side, I'm under my fleet cap. Okay. So I'm going to hang out in the system for as long as I can. What about my science ship? So I want to find the closest science ship that's not supporting research. Basically, as long as I can hold this, there's actually a pretty decent reward as far as research is concerned, and I want to claim it. Oh, sorry, we got a few things to do. Okay, social research. Now, I'm going to point out a couple of things I need to worry about as a consequence of this. So this is the most dangerous part of this plan. Let's start with gene tailoring. So the worry here is what happens relative to the Loxongrakva royal states. So good news is that they're just equivalent, and I don't think they have much in terms of friends in the galaxy. So it's likely that they're not going to try and take an advantage of my weakened state. But if they do, I have to abandon the L cluster, and that won't do, basically. But yeah, so the intermediate goal now is to get this base up and running with a star base, so that I can sort of refit my my invasion force. The ideal, of course, would be for terminal egress to be this location, but obviously I'm going to need to scan all the planets. There's a lot that I need to get done to be able to establish that foothold, and I'm not guaranteed to hold it. So we're going to have to keep a pretty careful eye on this area. So like this is where I would want to get the this is where I would want to. Are you kidding me? They're already trying to... Okay, we are getting out of here.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
You guys need to get out of here. So we do want to go back as soon as we can. But clearly we are in no condition to be able to take on those ships. A short list of targets has been drawn up. Those operatives who are no longer tasked with surveillance will provide cover for the others. Also, I've been neglecting to build these destroyers, so I'm behind on the reinforcements. Okay, 2 destroyers and 12 corvettes. Okay, just need 2 more. That's all good. We still have the potential. So 1681 days. I've got a new fleet coming online. My science ship's nowhere near where it needs to be. I think we're gonna take the long way around. Oh no, you don't.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
In fact, we're doing okay financially, so...
Technology discovered. Rad!
Fleets of autonomous drones equipped with mining beams are deployed to quickly and efficiently gather nearby minerals. Okay. Durasteel armor would not be a terrible idea right now, but destroyer hull points are a little bit cheaper. Repeal buzzword standardization. That's got a lot of support, but I am going to oppose it, and hopefully the rest of the galaxy will fall into line. Okay, so this is gonna get me a brand new fleet with a good commander. With luck, this will also give me enough time to complete this upgrade to a starport, so at the very least I can sort of reinforce my, or not reinforce, but like basically repair my existing fleets. Actually, one thing I can do, so 2 crew, okay. So, you know, this is just me refactoring the fleets a little bit. So in terms of overall replacements, there's not that much for the Kotala Voidstalkers. Obviously these guys are going to take a longer time. Biggest worry, of course, is enemy factions coming in to try and take this area before me. So I don't want to rush things, but I don't want to be completely idle on this either. In retrospect, it would have been smarter for me to build the base here in prep, because it's easy to dismantle these things.
Analyzed.
It does take a long time to build them, though. Okay, we're also getting to a point. I think probably I'll... Oh, this is a tough call. I think I will build the replacement battleship, so that means waiting it out. Actually, I think we can afford... 25 is a bit much, but... we can start building the replacements. I should be able to afford another one, actually. Oh, nope, they're more expensive now. Okay, so we've got what? I miscounted. So once this starbase is up and running, we're in a little bit of a better spot because it means we can start repairing our ships. Looks like the Senate is now opposing the measure, which is good. So this is going to involve a little bit of a dance as far as... so in this case, I actually want to go all in on shipyards. I will also build a... So Black Hole Observatory would be great, but it's important to remember what I'm trying to accomplish here. So Fleet Academy first, then crew quarters. And again, it's worth remembering that this is supposed to be a temporary measure to allow me to sort of reinforce my move on the terminal egress. You guys should have been moving here already. It's tempting to do the upgrade, but again, we can upgrade forever.
Scan complete.
Although, actually, it does give me some extra alloys, so in this case... there's an exception to everything. In fact, let me go so far as to say... Oh, you're kidding me. No, no. Stay here. As the operation nears its conclusion, Spymaster Toxidol has moved to secure our new asset within the enlightened kingdom of Con Aramis. Our remaining operatives are poised to facilitate any cover she may need. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep the repairs coming. So if I shift move, yes, they'll do that after the upgrade. Good. Spymaster Toxel reports from the enlightened kingdom of Con Aramis. A successful execution so far. Our spy network now has access to an influential figure within Con Araman culture, whose desire to maintain their public profiles pairs splendidly with the ambitions that we may wish to wield to manipulate hearts and minds. So, as always... Whoa! They've changed. Okay, so we do need another... we do need one more asset. So we'll launch that. Where's the science ship? It's on its way. I did want to try moving into terminal egress, but I think I'm going to wait a second. Because, like, what the big thing is like, well, what happens if I get there, right? Like, there might be something really nasty waiting for me. Okay, everybody's building so many cool things. Confidence wavers. A group of auxiliary operatives in the enlightened kingdom of Conoramis have begun shying away from their assigned tasks, citing a lack of confidence in their overall purpose. Spymaster Toxidol would typically handle such matters without bringing them to our attention, but even without them knowing any details, these operatives seem unusually well informed about Operation Acquire Asset, and perhaps the spy network as a whole. Given that these auxiliaries are kept isolated from our more active and better informed agents, Toxidol suspects the operatives are being fed information from an outside source. She also concedes that they may simply be highly perceptive individuals. Given these doubts and threats posed to Operation Acquire Asset by each scenario, Spymaster Toxidol requests a directive on how to proceed. So I'm also going to just write a note here. So if they say the risks are too great, cut them loose. So we lose 600 energy. And we get a +2 difficulty. So we say, see where these insights might lead. Now this is a coin toss, basically. Panicked operatives. Our auxiliary operatives in the enlightened kingdom of Conoramis have reacted with horror upon learning the truth of their once intangible suspicions. Spymaster Toxidol revealed only a glimpse of the bigger picture to them, but it was sufficient to disrupt our supply lines. Our ability to subvert Conoraman encryption is reduced for a time. So this is also +2 difficulty. Now, I did see here 12 months. I didn't see how long the other one lasted. But it seems to me that that's not much of a disincentive to take the chance, right? At least the way I'm reading it. I'm really debating about upgrading this Starhold, because 450 alloys is not that much to spend, so I think I'll go for it. I know that just cost me a battleship, but...
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
It's increasingly clear to me that it's going to take a while to get all this done. Let's start the upgrade.
Discovered. Rad.
This is going to take a long time to go through, so I don't think we're actually going to finish all of it, but it gives me a start on improving my ships. Making gene editing tools widely available is sure to have a positive impact on our development as a species. Okay. Command limit's tempting, but Synergy Forum is the highest or the lowest cost out of everything. And just out of curiosity, so they're at 984. We are at 899. So I think we actually lost a little bit of ground there. Still, we're in striking distance. Once we get our fleets back, we are very likely going to be in a position to deal with them.
Technology discovered. Rad.
After I read this, I'm going to take a quick second to just refill my tea. I'll probably run ads, but it won't be that long of a break. Just I had a really busy day today, and I've kind of been running nonstop, even though I had a little bit of time away from, like, sorry, I'm thinking of the right way to put this. Like, I started, like, I didn't start at 7 on the dot today, but that time that I was away was actually sort of work-related stuff. So I actually just need a second to just sort of step away from the screen for a bit and just, like, not be constantly on the go. So I'm just going to take a second here to deal with the research, and then I'm going to take a very small break, like, 2 or 3 minutes, and then that should get me through for the rest of the rest of the run here. So the discovery of antimatter power allows for highly advanced reactor boosters that can greatly enhance ship reactors. So again, Sapient Combat AI would be great, but I want to focus on the low-cost tech. So gamma lasers it is. All right, I will be back in just a moment. Like I said, I am going to run ads, so for those of you who do not have the sub, please, get up, get a glass of water for yourself, stretch, do anything but look at the screen. And a number of you have very kindly gifted a lot of subs. And of course, some of you have been long-time subscribers yourself. So one way or the other, essentially, I want to get the money from Twitch, but I'd rather you not be advertised to. So I'm running ads, but if you don't have an ad blocker, one, I encourage you to get one. But number two, go and do something else for a minute. I will be back in 2 to 3 minutes, I hope. All right, thank you all for your patience. Looks like all of you actually stuck around, so I know there's always a little bit of a threat whenever you take a break to loosen folks. Just before I hit the unpause button again, there was a question that I posed at the start of the stream, but it's very clear that I didn't have chat access, so some of you may have answered and I didn't hear it. I have no intention to stop playing Stellaris anytime soon, but for those of you who've been watching the stream for a while, you know that I kind of have very long-term plans. Just as a reminder, like with Darkest Dungeon, once that's finished, I've got a list that I wrote, heavens knows how long ago. But there's 3 games on it now, one of which was Darkest Dungeon, and I'm pretty sure that list is probably over 2 years old. I posed this originally sort of to a potential YouTube viewer or just somebody who's watching a VOD, and you don't feel the need to answer right away, but I've been thinking about some other potential games that I could play that would fit within the Stellaris crowd. So generally Monday's going to be a strategy game, and certainly I'm not short on games to play. Like obviously Phantom Brigade and Industries of Titan are going to be part of the stream for a while as well. But 2 that I've kind of had my eye on, I own both of these, but I haven't played them, would be Distant Worlds Universe and Shadow Empires, both published by Slytherin. Now, Distant Worlds Universe is kind of a collection of Distant Worlds and its DLC. It's a reasonably complicated game, but it seems like it also has it's got an interesting system where apparently you can automate like different segments of the game. So like if you just wanted to focus on one ship, you could just automate everything else and you'll just play that one ship. Or if you were very obsessive like me and wanted to control quite literally everything, apparently you can do that as well. Now, obviously, that game is getting a sequel, or actually it has a sequel out now, Distant Worlds 2. I have Distant Worlds Universe, so that would be the one I would be more inclined to try out. But the process of learning and playing that game is one that I wanted to get an idea as to whether or not people were interested. And then Shadow Empire also is quite interesting. It definitely seems to have a very old-fashioned user interface. So I think that's going to be a bit of a turnoff for some people, but it does also seem to be quite an in-depth strategy game. Another one I was considering was Command Modern Operations. It's certainly a game I'm very interested in, but I'm not 100% sure it's going to be quite the thing that I can do well on stream. So those were a couple games I was thinking of. If you have any opinions on that, you can feel free to let me know, either in chat now or however you want to reach out if you want to think on it a little bit. And this is something a little bit different where I'm specifically appealing to the people who are watching Stellaris, because it seems to me that this is a crowd that's probably a little bit more interested in strategy-style games. It's not the only strategy games that I play. Like, I love Civ, for instance. I haven't played that on stream forever. But it's also just kind of a time to say, here's some things I was thinking about. You may feel differently. You may actually have some stuff you'd like to see me do that I haven't heard of or I haven't thought about. And so I present those as things I've been thinking about, but I have a feeling some people have some thoughts. For instance, on Darkest Dungeon, some people were mentioning Battle Brothers, which I hadn't really heard of. So I figured this would be a time where I could maybe open up the suggestions and promote a dialogue, given that I mentioned a couple of games there. The second to last one. So the 2 games I mentioned were Distant Worlds Universe and Shadow Empires. So both of those are for... Actually, you know what? Sorry. Nothing wrong with giving a little advertising for the games. Let me just find them on Steam. If I was smart, I would use my Humble link, but... So this is Shadow Empire. So I'll just clarify, Distant World Universe is the collection of the original game and its DLC. There is a sequel, which I don't own. This other one, I'm going to be clear, the third one that I mentioned, Command Modern Operations, isn't really the thing that I would normally list on stuff I would consider. Like, I'm interested in trying it, but I'm not really sure I would be able to make it that interesting on stream. But I don't know. I brought it up, so I figured I could put the link in there. But again, I just wanted to open the possibility for people in terms of a topic of discussion, if those seem interesting to you, or if you have some, ideas that might be inspired by that discussion. Yeah, I figured it'd not be a bad time. Okay, that's really inconvenient, but I am curious in seeing how well we handle them. We definitely lost quite a few. Okay, what did that cost us? So, destroyer, cruiser, battleship, 7 destroyers, 8 corvettes, 2 cruisers, 1 battleship. And technically they didn't lose anything. Should probably build a replacement construction ship. So that's kind of the cost of waiting for the
exploitation forecast complete.
Waiting for the upgrade, sadly. Okay, so we're repaired. Let's get working on the replacements. So 1 cruiser and 7 destroyers.
Ships upgraded.
We could do even more upgrades if I want, but how long is it going to take?
We analyzed some debris.
I'll eat it, but I won't feel good about it. This thing? So Zygar isn't... I don't believe it has a base that I can connect anything to, right? So, like, I'd love to build a port, but the catch here is that I'm already over my starbase capacity, and I am going to wind up having... like, basically, I'm going to have to defend all that trade value running through my systems. So, if I'm not mistaken, like, I think the game gives you a warning if you're not hooked up, but, like, in this case, it's just because there's nothing there to claim that trade. It's absolutely something I'm going to take care of in the future, but at the moment, I just think it's a little too much for me to try and like push the limits of my starbase capacity in that. Just because, again, every penalty that I get is going to be felt in terms of my energy credits and my alloys, and those are going to be the things that I rebuild my ships with. So, again, you can say, well, the trade value is going to give you a bunch of energy credits, so, then you can buy the alloys, and you're right. But then, the question is like, okay, well, what do I do about what do I do when, the pirates come in and my fleets are trying to, protect the L cluster? Like it's more just, because I micromanage so much, sometimes I will choose less than optimal paths because it involves less kind of cognitive burden on me, which is such a lame reason for doing it. But, there is one thing I am going to do, though. I'm going to buy some alloys on the open market. I'm only going to do about 100 trades worth.
Technology acquired.
Okay, destroyer hull points. That's gonna. Okay, latest generation destroyer hulls have optimized structural integrity fields and improved bulkheads. Okay, that's going to be another thing that it soaks me for on the research. So, like I said, it's a never-ending path. Let's do like Durasteel materials is going to be really easy to research. But I also know I'm going to get even more research for it when I can get back into terminal egress. So let's try the mining station output again. But what I am going to do here, we're going to stop both upgrades. And again, I want to worry about the replacements. So they're already building the cruiser and the destroyer. Actually want to push the upgrades to the top of the queue. So I had 3 destroyers. So that's up to 9, so I need 4 more. 2 more. Again, every second that I delay the arrival of this fleet is another chance for the Grey Tempest to come and beat us up.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
The Zakarian black hole. But if I can have a pretty fearsome fleet to greet them with, that's a bit better. Oh! This is a surprise. Biological civilization detected. Initiate custodial protocols 46, subroutine Alpha 8. Message follows. Greetings, organic sapiens. You are approaching the Kelbrid Continuum territory. These systems serve as a refuge for sapient organics against the air data block corrupted threat. For refugee status applications, proceed to central processing. All sapient organic species are welcomed on the basis of availability and need. All right. The Kelbrid Continuum care little for our diplomatic maneuvering. As fellow star explorers, we salute you. And they've opened the doors. Okay.
Ship status cutting edge.
Excellent. Okay. I'm actually going to build another construction ship just so I can get eyes on the bad guys' territory. Okay, so that should get us sorted for destroyers. And we have 21 corvettes. That's going to take a while, especially with one shipyard. Again, we always buy more alloys, but I'm going to leave it be for now. Okay, so let's get that construction ship ready to go.
Ship status cutting edge. Found some enemies.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. They're coming straight for us, too. I mean, it's smart, right? They're going around the edge of my defensive region.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
This is one of the reasons why I would prefer, if I can. Ugh. The other thing is that the Isle system is like the only other place I really know where they're going to. Oh, they're splitting up. Oh, this is so bad. Well, I guess in one sense, like, it could be worse, because, like, I could have to fight them at the same time, but I'm just gonna have to, you know, waste more ships on something that's not pushing my plans forward. All right, our spotters have begun ingratiating themselves with targets we've marked as potentially useful. So I'm gonna have to lose a little bit of intel in the Loxungrakva Royal States while we set up in the Enlightened Kingdom. But I don't know, I'm spread a little too thin right now.
Our science ship is under attack.
Nugan. I may want to start building some more science ships. We're losing too many. Okay, so they're heading to the Corvus system. These guys are headed to... okay. I think I should actually just move everyone... I think I'll move everyone to Chorus, even if it means that we lose Jardlafon. I want to be able to fight in one position that I know I can hold. So again, this is a pretty meaningful fleet I'm going to be throwing at them. Okay, so the construction ship's got to go to a place of safety along with the science ship when the time comes. That's fine with the alloys. It's a little dangerous to be building new ships here, but... let's see what's left after the fight. Okay, so we're probably going to lose this.
They're coming for our starbase.
We have not arrived in time, so... they arrive... 54 days. Oh, that's bad.
Mining station lost.
The unprotected trade route that passes through the Sidar system has attracted the attention of a roving band of pirates. These outlaws have gathered a sizable fleet that is intercepting much of the system's trade. Okay, good. The good news is this is like the fresh fleet too, so... alright, what did we lose? It would be nice if we could get some healing. Oh dear. I think they're going for the prize. Yep. Through hard work and experience, Governor Dorbax has developed new skills. Okay. So we got to deal with reality here. I'm going to evacuate. We may wind up losing a lot of valuable... Like, we may wind up losing the valuable starbase, but we're going to do our best to recover.
Prospect analyzed.
Okay, here we go. Oh, dude. I admire your spunk, but...
Fleet lost.
Yeah. I don't see this thing lasting very long.
Starbase lost.
So the question is, do we really want to go through all the effort of recovering this? To me, the answer is yes. Okay, what's the deal here? Let's deal with these pirates now. Admittedly, it's just 2 battleships, but I'm reasonably convinced we can mop them up. Furthermore, I'm going to build all my replacements in the capital world now. So we need 2 cruisers, 2 cruisers, 6 destroyers. And then basically as many corvettes as I can handle. I don't get it. Ooh. Okay, it kind of caught me unawares, but we should be able to see it through.
Rad.
Okay, that definitely cost us a lot more than I wanted. All right, as you can see, I've been neglecting all the other parts of the neglecting all the other parts of my empire. So let's see what we've got. Going for the low tech if I can. Global production strategy. I'm going to get my energy back as soon as we destroy the pirates, so I'm not too worried about that. I do want a quick peek at the... Okay, so they're at 1020 now compared to our 927, so that gap is definitely growing. Now is the winter of our discontent. All right, let's press on. Oh, I should have been paying closer attention to my unemployment. Okay, Castor and Kefroth both have low-skill employment problems, although it also looks like yeah, so I actually need to decide what the next couple steps are here. So one thing I could do to try and free up some money would be to create refineries. So Is that what I want to do, though? I could do research. Could generate more unity. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We are currently... So we're currently buying 2 exotic gases. So what we're going to do is we'll do these, upgrade this building. Build a... So administrative offices give me unity and trade. Holotheater gives me more unity, I think. No, administrative office gives me considerably more. Okay. I don't know if I want this to be the Ministry of Culture. But I will probably wind up replacing the gene clinics when all is said and done. Moving on to Kefroth. Now, Kefroth is a tech world, so if I don't have room for specialists, I should be building more labs. So here, I will build another lab just because we're going to be working on enforcers. And I have... okay, yeah, that's an unemployed... This guy can become a scientist, so I'm just going to build more research labs. That will probably solve itself. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening in the fight. So again, it's worth remembering we are outnumbered here, so they might be pulling the same thing. Like, so notice here that there's some damage on that battleship. That was a bit of a risky move that I did there, but I was reasonably confident in my battleships and their ability to win through on the fight, so...
Hostile station engaged.
Alright, the Kotala Void Skulkers have destroyed a pirate station in the Sidar system and recovered its strong room module. Won't cover the cost of bringing them out there in the first place, but let's not complain too loudly. Well, my hope is that we will start seeing better trade.
We analyze some debris.
Oh dear. Okay. They're all employed. Oh yeah, I guess the ones that would have I guess the yeah, I've got some dead people. Okay, so I think this is my highest level scientist, so even though they do more physics. Okay, currently not available, so... It's 1 year older, but they're a genius, so it's worth it. A short list of targets have been drawn up. Those operatives who are no longer tasked with surveillance provide cover for the others.
Technology.
Oh god.
Rad.
I really need to heal. Okay, fortunately they're going the other direction. Nope. Corps of Engineers is really tempting given what I've been doing, but... Okay, gas extraction wells is ridiculously cheap.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we'll build the outpost here. So I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm not going to make the same mistake this time. I will start off with a starbase, and we will move ahead. Got 298 days in the terminal egress, so I am going to have to sort of make a Hail Mary on that research, I think. Okay, we kind of knew that these shutdowns would be occurring. What's the deal on Crystal? Oh, that's right, because it's too expensive. I think it's fair to say we're not going to be able to get the debris, but...
Resource scan complete.
One bit of good news, though, is that the my strong allies are close to that black hole.
Debris analyzed.
Okay, so this time, this is very, very reckless. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fresh recruit, because it's very likely I'm going to lose this ship. Senate, okay, yep, I'm fine with that call. So first thing here is we need to heal our people. Okay, looks like they've got the same idea I do. Okay, so bad guys in the area. Want to be mindful of what's happening. Yeah, they're coming straight for me. But... you don't play music like this to keep your fleets idle. Motherland!
Wow, we really hit this tech out of the ballpark. Construction complete. Resource scan.
Oh, crap! So if they don't bug us, we won't bug them. Actually, Guardian Point Defense, I think, will help with those. They're obviously shooting a lot of either small craft or missiles at us.
Technology acquired.
Okay, the strong yet flexible material is capable of withstanding severe punishment. It serves well as ship armor. So advanced afterburner. Oh, nope. Sorry, we're still researching. How courageous am I feeling with this science ship? Oh, they're turning on us. Okay, no need to get greedy. We need to rearm anyway, so... As the operation nears its conclusion, Spymaster Toxidol has moved to secure our new asset within the enlightened kingdom of Conaramis. Our remaining operatives are poised to facilitate any cover she may need. Spymaster Toxidol reports from the enlightened kingdom of Conaramis. A successful execution so far. Our spy network is now bolstered by access to an influential Conariman professional ready to assist us with operations which may benefit from the asset's own network contacts or the weight of their reputation. Okay, so first things first, we are going to upgrade you to a starport. So it looks like they've mopped up the... Ooh, they're going to come right for me, I bet. Alright. I think I'm going to have to white knuckle this. Let's take a cruiser, destroyer, and... Oh, there's no more corvettes. Yeah, it's looking a little grim here. So we'll hold out as long as we can, but we're in somewhat dire straits. Okay, let's see what we can do as far as restoring... restoring our numbers. So oddly enough, we actually have enough battleships here. So at least 6 cruisers. Let's start with those. Also, it's absolutely shameful I don't have a fleet academy here. Okay, that's a start. Yeah, they're gonna come after us.
Technology discovered. Rad.
This is gonna sting. Packets of exotic gas are rare and often inaccessible by conventional means. Such deposits can only be reached by using special extractor technology. Okay, engineering research. So, time for the afterburners? Nope. Defense platform, hull points, which oddly enough actually is in line with my plans, because we're going to turn this into a fortress. So I think at this point we can combine everything. And I think I can get my science ship back. So yeah, we're very, very fragile here. Let's just double check that. Yeah, they still count as equivalent. The Confederation of Zako would like to establish an embassy. All right. I need to buy more consumer goods. That's never a good sign, but we do still have the cash left over. We're doing all right as far as alloys are concerned, so that's slightly encouraging. Military Readiness Act. I don't have a position on this. We're in breach of this resolution. Right, because my... So I'll oppose it, but I don't think there's much hope there. This is just because I've gotten so many... This is just because I've lost so many ships fighting the Grey Tempest. Which I'm curious. I don't think that counts towards my victory points. Yeah, it's not a... Like, it's a crisis, but it's not the crisis, so it doesn't actually count as a contribution. Alright, unemployment everywhere. So I guess question number 1. Surely in this part of the galaxy... Ah, yes, I see. Okay, you know what? Let's just make this a big mine. And I can build another one of these and a bunch of generator districts. Alright, that's probably good. Okay. So I definitely have a place I can move one of these. What? You should be a scientist. Oh, damn it. It's got to be the Zygar station. I want you to be a researcher. Okay, I got an idea about how we're going to fix that. Okay, on Nadal. And then Siluria. And finally Dolok. That's a little surprising, so let's just see what's going on here. Okay, nope, that makes sense. So... I'm just going to assume that there's a job available. Also, because we've committed Zygar Prime... So I apparently listed this as a tech world. Clearly here it's going to be a mining world. This could be just about anything. You know, we've got lots of generators, lots... I think using it as a mine is probably not the best. Actually, honestly, a world of generator districts is probably where I want to go with this, and then everything left over will be industrial districts. Okay. That gives me something to start off with, at least. Just trying to throw out as many cruisers as I can. Like I said, the Zorakan Black Hole I'm going to transform into a fortress, because I just don't think we have what it takes to take terminal egress on our own. The only thing I'm worried about is that I basically just cleared the path for somebody else to get the to get that sector myself, but I couldn't deliver with the army that I had, or the navy that I had, and it's really obvious that I need to reinforce.
Construction complete.
In fact, I'm actually going to throw some more ships.
Acquired.
All right. Not great. Planets are big and production sites are often separated by vast distances. A coherent strategy for making certain that everyone is pulling in the same direction is often needed. Okay. So, I mean, the Great Tempest is definitely playing this the way that I would play it, which is to just constantly keep the pressure on the forward base. They're already committed. Okay, Sonic Theory. We should be able to win this, but again, I don't want to be losing ships, and that's obviously going to be what happens.
Fleet lost.
That was probably the 2 battleships. 3 battleships. Oh my god. We've lost.
Debris analyzed. War can be a lucrative affair.
Yikes. Okay. I mean, we have to reevaluate the position. We're clearly in no state. Oh, that's a real shame. Okay. We're clearly in no state to be able to hold that, so unfortunately I'm going to have to give up some of that territory, and we need to rebuild. So, we haven't lost everything. Obviously, there's some ships that are still kicking around, but I just need to cool it a bit. I tried to hold out as long as I could, but obviously that didn't work. Oh, it's really called New Fleet? Yeah, screw it. Okay, we'll keep with 2 right now. We obviously can field 3, but I don't want to go nuts. So, there's going to be some new priorities for the construction as well. So, first of all, let's buy up as many alloys as we can get. So, first thing we got to do is get this thing up to fighting strength. So, we've got 2 cruisers in the queue, 2 battleships. So, next step is the 7 destroyers. Okay, actually, that's a good start. Not good for me. So the Nar seem to be... Yeah, so I think the Nar is going to start feeling like they can be in a position to throw their weight around. Okay, this is going to take... It's going to take a little bit of fancy footwork to get around, but... The agreement that we had signed giving you access to our databanks has run its course. Would you like to extend it for another 10 standard years, or do your researchers no longer require the information we have to offer? We'd like to extend our deal. Alsoch. Okay. So... I guess the question is, what do I do with the remaining slots here? Could do hydroponics farms. It sounds silly to do, but actually this would give me something to use my new bale for, so I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And then we'll send this fellow off to Zandebrand. So yeah, this is definitely a tougher position than I would like to be in. It's not something we can't recover from, but we've got a lot of enemies in the galaxy, and my fleet's sort of been flattened out a bit. So I may want to use my sort of my swelling influence pile. Actually, there's one big thing I want to do. Ugh. I want to start establishing some... Can't be taken on this planet. Why specifically this planet? I'm gonna have to read up on that, I think. But yeah, so the plan is I do want to start. Expanding out my branch offices again. Mind you, we're doing okay for cash, so. And let's get back to Corvette construction. I don't know how many I've got in the queue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, only 5. Yeah, so we've got a way to go for our construction, but that's fine. We'll be able to work it all out. And then, of course, when the Kotala Void Stalkers come back, so they'll be return in
Construction complete.
a year. We have kind of a head start on where we want to go. Should also upgrade to a Star Fortress at some point, but I kind of need the cash. So yeah, Grim. I do want to expand out to the Zorakan black hole again, but I think I'm gonna need 3 full strength fleets. And what we're going to do is we're going to properly establish it as a fortress before we go back into terminal egress. If it means that we lose it to allies, that sucks. But the last thing I did clearly left me too stretched thin for the fight. So, anyways, reinforced framework and blast shields with enhanced impact absorption will ensure the structural integrity of the platform even under immense pressure. Moving right along, I think advanced afterburners. Well, you know what? I'm going to do mineral isolation, even though advanced afterburners technically are less expensive, and that's just because I'm going to build a big mining planet soon. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 plus the 6, so we're up to 18. I just need 6 more. Who died? General. Okay. Not going to be taking over any planet soon, so. I think what I'm going to do once. So for priority number 1, of course, is to. I really need to get my. Consumer goods under control. Once I've got the fleets back under control, what I'm going to do is I'm going to again establish the fortress at the black hole, but on top of that I'm going to start properly upgrading my existing star bases, namely the one on the capital world, because obviously I'm falling behind in terms of some of the tasks that I want to do. Our spotters have begun ingratiating themselves with targets we've marked as potentially useful. And again, all of the resource allocations where I want it to be, like I can defend all of the choices that I've made, but I do need to start thinking. Actually, there's a couple things that I can do. I'll at least fill in the gaps here.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
But again, it's one of these things. I'm going to hold off on the Elamine trade deal. I actually kind of want to rebuild my reserves for alloys. Yeah, this is an unfortunate reality that we're going to have to deal with until we build things back with these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'll expand out in Sosta and Aurum. Then I'll consider opening branches in the enlightened Kingdom of Conoramus. Okay, now we've got 2 battleships, so I'm going to want to build 2 replacements. So we'll save up for those.
Planetary exploitation forecast complete.
There's going to be a really important distinction between how I approach the Zorakan black hole from last time. What I'm going to be doing here is build up a fleet capable of... Basically, I'm going to build up the fleet with which I took the terminal egress in the first place. And I'm going to do that to establish the stronghold in the Zorakan black hole. Then we're going to move it in. Then we're going to build the second one. So we're actually going to do two. We're going to build and then dismantle a really big starbase, and then we're going to do the same in terminal egress. Unless we arrive in the Zorakan black hole and it's like a ghost town, and it turns out there's like nothing inside here. In that case, I might be willing to go for a little more risk, but obviously that has consequences. Okay, I think I said I was going to do the Judgment Core so that I could move to the workplace motivators. So Judgment Core, sprawling cities, and isolated mining stations both have unique challenges associated with crime prevention. To expedite law enforcement, we have made the judicial process more efficient by combining the role of judge, jury, and enforcer. Enhanced surveillance enforcers produce one unity. So it's always nice to get a little shot in the arm for unity, but this is really about setting up for the next step for the workers. A short list of targets has been drawn up. Those operatives who are no longer tasked with surveillance will provide cover for the others. Okay.
Resource
The first
scan
of two
complete.
battleships. Just prepping for what's going to be another demand on my consumer goods. It is really tempting to build that station on Zygar, but I want to put that towards my navy now.
This tech had better generate some revenue.
All right, so this will help me out in terms of the empire size. Pops are definitely a big contributor to this. So the mind is in many ways a reflection of the universe itself, a microcosmos. All species may not reach this insight, but their minds are tools greater than any other. Moving right along, looks to me like combat training's the least expensive, so we'll build one of those. And then Guardian Point Defense Advanced Prediction generally increases the accuracy of active countermeasure systems. And we're actually really far along. This is weird. 41,130, but we've got 41,8. I mean...
Technology discovered.
That was easy. These reinforced and hardened energy shields are incredibly powerful. The protection they offer is second to none. So, tempting to go for the particle lance, but let's take the plasma cannon for the same reason that we always do. And, as always, 1073 versus my 1026. Okay, so we're back to 50 in terms of a technological gap. We're getting a little bit better. I'm assuming that they are not going to want to... Has to be their vassal. Go to hell. We're going to need to send some diplomats to charm the pants off of these guys. I also should probably start selling some food. Let's sell 100. But the minimum... Oh man, I can't do fractional values? That sucks. That's just going to soften the blow a little bit of the consumer goods. As the operation nears its conclusion, Spymaster Toxidol has moved to secure our new asset within the enlightened kingdom of Khan Aramis. Our remaining operatives are poised to facilitate any cover she may need. Okay, Spymaster Toxidol reports from the enlightened kingdom of Konaramis. A successful execution so far. Our spy network is now bolstered by access to an influential Konaraman professional, ready to assist us with operations which may benefit from the asset's own network contacts or the weight of their reputation. So... Alright, so we need to rebuild the spy network, then we'll build sleeper cells, and then we'll start working on the Loxong Grakva Royal States again. I think I said I was building one more battleship. So, oh, these guys have got to be... get into the proper orbit. Okay, so for them... Actually, there's probably going to be a little awkwardness while the two groups sort of fight for resources. But I will start... Okay, so... Can't afford cruisers, so I'll just wait that out. Okay, it looks like the numbers are going to the Kotala Void Skulkers, so that's what I want. So, the good news is that we're back... considering that we got wiped out, we actually got our replacement fleet pretty quickly. And I think there is some value in just sort of realizing that, like, the preceding turns were not a complete waste, right? We are actually in a position where we are capable of replacing lost fleets reasonably quickly. Now, it is worth remembering, just taking a look at my fleet cap, I want at minimum 3 of these fleets flying around, ideally 4 like I had before, but that's clearly going to take us a long time. Next up, another factor that I wasn't really taking a look at was my exotic gases. So here we can safely kill the order. In fact, I think this is going to be where I wrap it up. So I'm going to do a little maintenance on my empire, and then we can move on. Okay. Hooray! All right. Now you'll notice I'm kind of hurting for minerals. This is actually a point where for... Yeah, I think I'm willing to buy some for 1,000. So, I definitely need to start making some choices in terms of what I'm doing with these worlds. This one, there's a small argument for maybe making this a little bit more, like putting down a Ministry of Culture and a bunch of civilian industries. Oh, but this is a unification center. This is clearly better suited for that. Oh, it's auto-designated. I see. Okay. So my preference actually would be to convert these industrial districts into city districts, but that will savage my industrial base, so I can't do that right now. Although, I could embiggen the world with Mastery of Nature. Okay, normally I wouldn't do this, but I happen to have a lot of influence right now, so I am going to do this. This is chugging along nicely. So I should compare this to my capital world. So I put another research building. Is that what I want for... Why on earth do we call this a trade station? Sorry, actually, Research Institute makes sense. I'm surprised I don't have one on Kerox's private stash, actually. It's a little late to replace any of this now, though, so... Okay, so I'm building the planetary administration, but did I really decide what I was going to do with this world? I think I was going to go nuts on generators. All right, we're out of minerals. Yeah, so I think it was going to be a mix of like generators and industrial districts. Because the thing is that as cool as it is to have these industrial districts, I can just build another habitat, which, like, basically you can build factories anywhere. You can build factories in space. I mean, that's something that we're trying to do now, right? That's why, like, Blue Origin and SpaceX exist. So, you know, where I'm not too worried about industrial districts, because in the end, if I need, I just need to allocate some alloys towards building another habitat. But I think I'll leave that be. Okay, so I've distributed the workers the way that I want. We are repairing the Kotala Void Stalkers. Do I have any more? No, not for cruiser, so we're going to have to wait on those. We're in a surplus for consumer goods for who knows how long. Our researcher died, so do we have a good engineer? Well, not really, but... Okay. I could be in a better spot, but I feel like we've crash landed a hard position about as well as we can. Oh, actually, there's one other thing I want to look at. So as cool as it is to have somebody scouting around... yeah, actually, I should probably rebuild my science teams. I will send one to go look at this debris. But I'm thinking maybe I should knock out a couple more science ships. But yeah, so you know, it's hard to look at this as like an unqualified success. We definitely did a big hit on the L-Gate. The question is that did we just do something that will ultimately benefit our allies and rivals by clearing out the Grey Tempest long enough for them to be able to get a foothold? So what we're going to be doing for next week's session, I'm going to be rebuilding the Kotala Void Stalkers, and then we'll have to get a start on the third of the fleets. What I want to do is I want to establish a stronghold in the Zorakan Black Hole. Ideally, I'll do that with 3 fleets, but I kind of need to see whether or not I actually have the time to be able to do that. And then once we have a much stronger position to launch attacks from, then we're going to move into terminal egress. We're basically going to set up the same kind of fortress in terminal egress, and at that point we start munching on the Grey Tempest sort of on our own terms. That's a very long-term goal right now, and the one thing I don't want to do is commit myself to holding a black hole like I did before, where I just slowly get whittled down. Because the thing that's really working for me here are my numbers. It's the fact that I'm able to wipe out those cruisers quite quickly and then just swarm the capital ship that makes that strategy work. So when I'm looking at like one full fleet and then sort of a screening fleet, you know, I'm just going to get demolished if they just kind of keep sending horde after horde. So in this case, we've learned our lesson. We're going to hold back, even if that means potentially losing terminal egress. And then we'll, if we do lose terminal egress, then what we just do is we take our big fleet, we find the biggest guy in the prison yard, and we give him a bloody nose, and we remind people that the Natraxian Runrunners are a force to be reckoned with. Because one day, I swear, we are going to turn the Loxongrak Va Royal States into a vassal. But I'm a little over time. I figure it's the least I can do if I start a bit late, but I do need to wrap up for tonight. Thank you everybody for watching. A couple of things to say about the upcoming streams. So next week I plan to be doing some more Stellaris. I'm interested in seeing where this playthrough goes. Tomorrow there is going to be a VOD for the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion. And I should actually mention that it is the final episode of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion streams, or the vodcasts. So I will try and hang out in chat for as much as I can, but for those of you who want to see the finale of
Caius, Spellsword, Dunmer, Eternal Champion, most loyal servant of the Emperor, former head of the Blades in Vardenfell,
and all of that, that will be starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow. and the high-quality video is always on YouTube if you'd prefer to watch it there. But I did have a couple of people say that they wanted to know when the last episode was, so that's coming up. Wednesday, I don't know if there is a meetup for the local game dev collective, Dirty Rectangles. If there is, I will start earlier. Alternatively, if there isn't, I'll start at my usual time. But either way, it's going to be Phantom Brigade. That is the game that that has the most recent update from Kitfox, or not Kitfox. Brace Yourself. However, it is also worth it's maybe worth remembering that I do intend to do some more Industries of Titan before that new patch comes out. I just need to figure out the right day for that. Thursday, I got nothing to do. But on Friday, we're going to be back to Darkest Dungeon, and I'm going to do my best not to repeat what I did here. We're finally on the Darkest Dungeon in Darkest Dungeon, and holy smokes, it is hard. So we'll see what kind of progress we make. I have a feeling that I'm gonna see my my people get wiped, and I'm gonna have to figure out a better way. But all of that is coming up this week. For those of you who are just here for Stellaris, I will see you in a week. Now, the big question is, who do I host? Because there's a few people online. You know what? Kilgore Trout is streaming Duke Nukem Manhattan Project, and it's actually been a while since I've streamed, since I've hosted Kilgore Trout. So I think I'm gonna leave you in his capable hands. He's a partnered streamer now, actually, partnered for his sorry, his name's a little tricky for me to type out. I can never remember where the zeros go. Anyways, Kilgore is, he's kind of like, he became a partnered streamer basically through his classic game streams. I met him through the GOG stream team, but in his case, he is someone who sort of built a channel around playing classic games. I mean, he used to work at a computer store when a lot of this stuff was coming out. He does a thing of box and movie hype. Now, he just recently moved to Newfoundland and Labrador, so he doesn't have his boxes available, but he's definitely a pretty unique streamer. And during his breaks, he does this game called Sherlock, which is a really fun little puzzle game. So it's actually quite interesting to watch some of the stuff that he pulls out. But on top of that, he's a nice Canadian streamer and somebody who I figure is a decent host for the evening. And I'm really curious exactly what Duke Nukem game this is. There's another thing I was going to say about Kilgore, but I completely forgot what it was. Anyways, enjoy the classic. Oh yeah, sorry. He also plays it on a classic computer, so I believe he's playing this on like an Athlon 6400 or whatever. I'm sure he's got it in like his descriptions or whatever. But anyways, I need to stop chatting. I will see some of you tomorrow for the finale of Elder Scrolls, some of you Wednesday for the Brace Yourself stuff, some of you Friday for Darkest Dungeon, and for those of you who really just come here for the grand strategy, see you in a week. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.